Welcome back to the village. I am happy to report that with ruthless Dark Age efficiency, we have managed to not only find a new girlfriend, get married, and she is now pregnant. We are trying to secure our dynasty, our lineage that's going to control this village for I don't know how long. Also, in the time since we were last here, we have added a food storage building. It got to be too much for me to be the medieval Uber Eats and running food into everyone's house. And one of the reasons for that is we added another house. So there are now 3 homes plus ours in here. And that's just too many places for me to run food. They can go get their own food now. Now, with that said, I do have a fantastic offer for you. If you still want to get your roasted meat or maybe even fish here in the near future delivered straight to a wooden box in your house, all you have to do is hit the like button and maybe even consider subscribing. Subscribers will get extra fish when it's available. I think that's a pretty good deal. And I promise I will not raise prices on you at least in the first few years. Promise. One of the major goals for this season, though, is going to be to put in our first resource storage building. Just as running food has begun, a little bit too much, running firewood is also it's becoming a chore. And I need people to just start getting their stuff in and into this building. Now, we are very close to the second tier 1, which I want to build. But I kind of want to build the second tier 1 a little bit closer to the water, where we are going to get our fishing industry up. So I'm building this, which is tier 1 up here. And I don't know how long this is going to last. A few years, maybe, which is good. But this is really going to be sort of a temporary solution for it. The unfortunate thing, as you know, with this game is that you can't just upgrade a building. So once you have a building and you need to get to the next tier, you got to tear down the old one. And with storage buildings, that's a mess because they hold a lot of stuff, right? And then if you kill off the storage capacity, you have a lot of stuff that you have to go through to just move the things around that are in there. So we'll build this, and then when we get the second tier 1, we'll likely build that where I want it, which is down by the water again. And then this building will be removed. With our storage building up, with our food storage building up, basic needs are met. And we are gonna continue our dominance over the local fauna in trying to get our hunting skill to the point where we can start fishing. We never got to the point where we built a second hunting lodge. It wasn't really needed. The points were moving pretty quickly. So hopefully we don't have that much left to go. We don't have that much left to go, and we can start getting into the first level of our industry, which is going to be fishing. I believe that a fisherman will produce more fish than the hunter produces meat, even if they're both at 100%. And I also believe that fish is worth more. And if we can salt it up, maybe we can make even more money off of it. That's the kind of plan that we're going for right now. And there we go. Fishing hut 1. So let me go sell this stuff off in Hornica, whatever we've been picking up. Maybe pick some berries up while we still have a chance to make some money on it. And then we'll head back to the village and we'll start building up our fishing industry. Well, I may or may not have spent the night, or at least the evening in Hornica drinking, but It's now the next morning. I feel fine. Thank you for your concern. And we're gonna build some fishing huts. We're gonna build some fishing huts. I want it to be, I think I want at least 2 of them, because I think the first one only employs 1 person. Second tier may employ 2. So I think we're gonna put a couple of them in over here and just get started on it. Get the people out from the hunting lodges or the hunting lodge and get into fishing. First fishing hut is up. You can already see him out there. The fisherman is out spearfishing, and we're gonna put up the second one. We're not holding back here now. We are going hard for this type of industry. So he's already started. We'll put the second one up. I guess it doesn't really matter how they sit as long as the actual building is on the water. So we'll change them around a little bit, create some visual interest, as it were, or maybe just we like to be different. So we'll have 2. Now they can only employ 1 person each. We'll have to see kind of where the fishing ends up. You know, how much fish they bring in. Well, it's pretty safe to say that we're not going to have to use the hunting lodge anymore when we have this as food. And I believe that once they start salting the fish, our people can eat that too. So we're not going to have to cook food unless we really want to. And I mean, I feel that we're pretty nice as the mayor / owner of this village. If we just, you know, if we just supply them with salted fish and a house and a place to work, I think, personally, I think that's pretty nice of us to do. And then, I mean, we'll see. We'll see if we put in a tavern or not. I have not decided. Now, I was just gonna speed through the construction of this fish hut here, but I found this opportunity for a little bit of surf and turf, and I figured I need to show off just how great of food we actually provide. Fish and steak / hamburger. I don't know what you can make out of this thing. A lot of stuff, I'm sure. There'll be a barbecue on the beach tonight. Or cert. Wait, back to building. Back to building. I mean, we can't have people just enjoy the good parts of my hard labor. We got to build some stuff so they can feel like they've contributed themselves with hard labor. That's the whole point. And speaking of hard work, with our second fishing hut completed, we are going to get Nistanka over here to start fishing. And I do believe the number, I think they bring in 6 fishes per hour? Full, yeah, so at full speed, with a level 3 fisherman, they're going to bring in 6 fishes per hour. And if the fish is a little bit more money to sell than meat is, we might be able to sustain at least a small economy on fish. And if we then also can get salt going, and we can start salting that fish. I don't know how much salted fish sells for yet, but if we can combine that up, it's a possibility that we can make at least enough money to sustain the village until we get into, well, the farming type that we talked about, or the animal husbandry and maybe making some cloth and that sort of thing, which is sort of what I'm planning for next. We'll see though. We'll see where this goes. This might be insanely this might be just an insane way of making money. I doubt it is, but it might be, and we'll see. We'll adjust to where we need to go. I did spend the rest of the fall just decorating around town a little bit. I cooked up a lot of meat that was sitting around, and we have now entered winter time. As you know, our agricultural portion of this town is very, very small. We don't do a ton of stuff. Normally, we would have grown carrots in the winter time, but I really don't. I just don't want a lot of agriculture. I'm hoping to get enough points where we can get into some animal husbandry, maybe get some chickens in, and then see if that creates points on its own so that we continue. Because we got to get into some of the higher tiers. I want to get into the fold, get some sheep in here, see what we can do with that. But one thing that I know that we're going to need is linen. So in the meantime, I am going to set up a small field, a 5x5, for flax. And that is what we're going to be growing. It's possible that we're actually going to need more of it, because I know that the traps that come out for us as part of fishing, they use linen. And there are some torches and other things that use linen as well. And if we can get a good linen industry going, we can just use that to substitute our wool once we get into that. But this winter, I'm going to spend getting the fields ready so that we can grow flax or plant flax in the springtime. I'm also going to get fish and meat cooked up and go and do a sale of some cooked fish. Cooked fish is worth 5. That's what it says. And I'm hoping that it rounds and it pays 3 per cooked fish. It might round to 2 and then just paying 2 silver per, which wouldn't be as fantastic. Still be fun to just make money in a different way. So I'll get going on this. I'll get some cooking going, and then we'll probably rejoin you when we are over in Hornica to sell off our first fish and just kind of look at where that's headed. With plenty of fish in hand, we have gone over to Hornica to try to sell it off. And it looks like, unfortunately, the roasted fish meat, even though it says that it's worth 5, when they cut the price, of course, to buy it from us, they are rounding down. And it's worth 2. 2 is still money. I think we can sustain a bit on that. And then we'll just see what happens once we start salting it. Hopefully, salted fish is worth a lot more, and it can actually become an industry for us. I am pretty sure that the next thing we're going to look into building, with the exception of another house, because we got to get some more people in to work these things, is going to be an excavation shed. Get some salt going and check out the prices on salted fish. Now, I know that the fishermen are the ones that also salt the fish, and depending on how that's going to, go with salt in and amount of fish in, we might have to build another fishing hut and have that fisherman just salt fish. Raises an interesting question, because it is done in the fishing hut, and the skill that is needed is fishing skill. However, salting fish may be considered crafting. So is that going to raise their fishing skill, or will it raise their crafting skill? I don't know yet. So that'll be another interesting thing to see what might happen with that. However, I have a flax field that needs my attention, so this is going to be a fantastic spot to put a cut in the video. Like I said before, in the next video, in the seasons to come, we are going to be working on the excavation shed. More than likely, we're going to end up moving our storage facility down to the dock side. And if I decide to be nice, we will be putting in a tavern as well. If nothing else, just so our village can look like a real village. Thank you so much for coming out. I appreciate you watching the video, and hopefully we will see you on the next one. Oh, it's just a guy hanging out. That's not... This is more boring than I thought it would be.
Egger. I can't.
Oh my god!
I was typing.